Hey everyone, this is Candice from the Women's Mountain Biking Network, and today we're talking about the Polygon Siskiu T9. So Bikes Online sent me the Polygon to demo. I was happy to test this bike out on my local trails in Northwest Arkansas, where we have a ton of techie trails. The bike was smooth on rocks and roots and handled all the technical features. However, Northwest Arkansas can be very pedal heavy, and the bike did weigh heavier than I'm used to pedaling. I'm also coming off of a 27-pound bike, and the Polygon weighs around 34 pounds, so I did struggle to climb up those hills. This is not to say that another rider wouldn't kill it on the climbs with the T9, I'm just adjusted to a lighter bike. Even with its weight, it didn't feel too heavy for me and it handled all the terrain. Despite the weight, I really enjoyed putting it to the test on my home trails. It's a great trail bike and it's a great price for $3,000 and an amazing build. So let's talk about the specs and geo on the size small frame. The reach on the size small frame is 440, and I felt centered on the bike and on the climbs without having to shift a lot of my weight forward unless I was doing big tech climbs. I didn't feel overly stretched in this bike. The wheelbase was a little longer than I'm used to riding, but it didn't take me that long to adjust and I felt totally stable. The standard tires are the Schwalbe 27.5 tires. The width is 2.6. It did feel heavy and thick, but again, the tires can be customized to your style of riding. The weight of the T9 is around 35 pounds for the size small frame. This is heavy for me, but I only felt the weight really interfered with my riding while I was climbing. The standover is 690. This is one of the biggest contributors for me when shopping for a bike. I'm 5 foot, so I struggle to fit on certain bike frames, and the Polygon recommends their small bike frame for those that are 5'1" to 5'6". So technically I'm too short, but I asked Bikes Online to switch the standard dropper of 150 to a 120 to help with my height issue. The Polygon Siskiu T9 is a great build with top-notch components for just under $3,000. Usually at this price, you find a lot of cuts on the components, but not on the T9. The Polygon managed to keep price down and the build high. The T9 offers so much value, not just on your pocketbook, but on the trails too. The Siskiu T9 comes with TRP DHR Evo brakes, a Fox 36 Performance Elite with 150 front travel, a Fox Float X Performance with 140 in the rear, a Shimano XT drivetrain, and Schwalbe 27.5 tires. On the tech climbs, this bike felt heavy for me, but it did handle rocks and roots with ease. Though climbing the hills was challenging because of the weight, it made up for it with the conquering of the techie terrain. Again, it's all relative on what is heavy from one rider to the next. On the descents, the T9 was a lot of fun. The extra weight helped me to gain a lot of speed and handle the tech very smoothly. I was able to hit tabletops in a few drops and it felt great. It didn't feel challenging to get some air over those tabletops, and I loved taking the T9 on the downhills. So here's my shorter rider opinion. The Polygon Siskiu T9 size small frame is built for those between 5'1" and 5'6". I'm 5 foot, so technically this bike was a bit tall for me, but I requested a smaller dropper than what originally comes with the bike to help with my standover. I did have a few moments where I struggled to get back on the bike, but that didn't happen too often. I would say this size small bike frame would definitely be suited for the recommended height listed on the Bikes Online website, but I managed just fine with the shorter dropper. However, you can always customize and make certain builds work, and that's all relative to how you ride. For me, I didn't have too many issues with the size, but I would make a few changes to help with my standover since I don't fall in the recommended height range for the size small frame. I feel this bike is best suited for chunky, tech hard riding as it handles it all very well, but the biggest con for me was in fact the weight while climbing up the hills. This bike felt more like a downhill bike to me than a trail bike. All in all, the Siskiu T9 is a great trail bike and you really can't beat the price or the amazing build. I want to thank the folks over at Bikes Online for the opportunity to demo this bike. Trail Shorty out. Bring it high.